The Steam Spring Sale of 2026 is here, and I've put together a great list of some of my favourite strategy games that are on a huge sale right now. If you like some of my recommendations, feel free to subscribe to the channel, because more is coming your way. Old World. So let's kick things off with Old World, and right now it's sitting at 90% off for just $4. Old World places you in charge of a dynasty that spans generations, and every choice shapes a legacy that continues long after one ruler falls. Each kingdom carries several families with their own strengths, and they expect rewards for their loyalty. The game also changes familiar strategy systems. Buildings require real materials like wood and stone, and your population grows through several factors rather than a single resource. Weekly scenarios, handcrafted maps, and historical challenges provide fresh goals, while multiplayer options offer a long list of ways to compete with friends. For $4, Old World brings enough depth to last dozens of hours, making it one of the strongest offers of the season. Against the Storm. A full 70% discount drops one of the most replayable city builders down to just $10. Against the Storm delivers a style of strategy that pushes you beyond a single settlement. The story begins with your role as Viceroy, chosen by the Scorched Queen to reclaim land after a series of brutal blight storms. From there, you launch expeditions to form a network of outposts, each one built from scratch under changing conditions. You build multiple cities across a world map that resets after each full cycle. Each attempt creates a new layout, fresh perks, and a changing roster of building blueprints. 5 races support your efforts, and each group brings strengths that shift the rhythm of your settlements. Against the Storm rewards planning, risk, and long-term thinking in a way that keeps players hooked for cycle after cycle. $10 for this level of depth feels like one of the strongest deals of the entire spring sale. Total War WARHAMMER III. One of the loudest deals this season lands with a 75% discount, dropping a massive title down to $15. Total War WARHAMMER III, a strategy giant that blends grand campaign planning with huge real-time battles. The grand battles carry the spectacle that Total War players know well. Armies stretch across valleys, and creatures charge with violent force. 7 races give you a completely different experience each time you begin a campaign. Each campaign explores a different path through the realm of chaos, where choices influence the world far beyond the battlefield. Multiplayer expands the experience further. An 8-player Realm of Chaos campaign creates long sessions where shifting alliances and sudden betrayals keep everyone alert. For $15, this game delivers a world filled with colossal armies, deep strategy layers, and enough variety to keep you busy for a long time. Crusader Kings III. A 70% discount brings one of the most detailed dynasty builders down to $15. Crusader Kings III hands you the reins of a noble house across the Middle Ages, and the sale gives players a perfect chance to jump into a world where every decision shapes generations. You begin by choosing a dynasty in a start date that suits your style. Each era offers its own alliances, enemies, and fractured borders. Once your ruler claims a throne, the game opens up. War remains a constant presence. Men-at-arms, powerful knights, mercenaries, and holy orders shape your armies. Raids bring loot and prestige, while large conflicts test your command through tactics and preparation. For $15, Crusader Kings III delivers an experience that blends strategy and drama in a way few games can match. Every campaign becomes a personal story, and no 2 dynasties ever follow the same path. Civilization VI. Civilization VI has shaped countless late-night sessions, and this sale gives both newcomers and veterans a perfect excuse to start a fresh campaign. Civilization VI begins with a single settler on an empty map, and the world grows as your city expands across individual tiles. Every choice shapes how your empire evolves, since each district carries bonuses that shift your priorities from turn to turn. Exploration drives progress, scouts uncover new continents, warriors clear threats from nearby lands, and improvements raise the value of every tile you control. Each victory type rewards a different approach, creating endless replay value. $6 for this much depth feels almost unreal. Civilization VI delivers a full world of choices, and the spring sale turns it into one of the strongest bargains on the entire platform. Timberborn. This game carries one of the most creative worlds in the genre. You get a world ruled by beavers and a city builder that turns survival into a full engineering challenge. Timberborn begins long after Earth turned dry. Humanity faded, and beavers became the architects of the wasteland. You can choose between factions, and the tone of your settlement changes. Each faction uses different buildings and research paths, which means your colony gains a unique identity from the first hour. Planning becomes a steady rhythm where you gather food, store water, and prepare irrigation systems before the heat rolls in. Water control defines the heart of Timberborn. Dams, floodgates, canals, aqueducts, and carved riverbeds shift the flow of entire regions. You move water across plateaus, block dangerous currents, or redirect life back towards starving fields. The game supports official mods, and the community adds new buildings, terrain shapes, and quality of life features every week. So, a deal at $25 for this much depth feels like a standout moment in the spring sale. Hearts of Iron 4. Hearts of Iron 4 drops to $15, and that price gives you access to one of the best military sandboxes ever built. You're placed in 1936, with a world balancing on the edge of conflict. You can build an economy from scratch, shift your political system, and line up factories to produce the exact war machine you want. And once the gears start moving, every decision changes the shape of the world. What makes this sale feel special is how much content you get for such a small price. You're stepping into a system that lets you tinker with division templates, restructure national priorities, and build long-term strategies where every victory feels earned. And once a campaign ends, you never start the next one the same way. There's always a new nation, a new plan, and a new way to play this game. So yeah, this discount hits hard. $15 for a grand strategy epic that can pull you in for hundreds of hours. Yield! Fall of Rome. $7 for a full 4x strategy experience set during the collapse of one of history's greatest empires feels like a deal that shouldn't be real. In Yield Fall of Rome, you're thrown into 401 AD, with Rome stretched thin and factions rising on the borders. The fun comes from how many different paths you can take. 8 playable factions stand ready, each carrying its own roster of units and buildings. And once you commit to a direction, the campaign pushes you across provinces, long-term objectives, and a map where Roman authority weakens with every turn. Battles resolve quickly, and every move changes the shape of the board. There is also ranked and unranked multiplayer that give you a chance to test tactics against real opponents. Seasonal modes offer new challenges that shift regularly, so getting all of this for $7 during the spring sale feels incredible. If you're picking up strategy games this week, this one deserves a spot on the list. Anno 1800. 1800 gets a discount at 75% off for $15 in the 2026 Steam Spring Sale. The game opens with the world stepping into the industrial age, and every choice you make pushes your empire toward wealth, conflict, or something far more unpredictable. You begin with small settlements, but the pace rises fast. Cities grow across tangled streets, and each new tier of citizens demands a fresh production chain to keep the whole system stable. And while your cities grow, the political landscape shifts. Rival rulers form alliances and pressure you through trade deals or quiet threats that fit the century perfectly. The sandbox mode adds even more freedom, with map generation that reshuffles island layouts and trade routes every time you start a new session. And if you prefer story structure, the campaign guides you through political schemes, industrial breakthroughs, and family rivalries that carry the tone of the era. So grabbing Anno 1800 for $15 feels perfect for anyone who wants deep strategy, evolving cities, and a world that keeps pushing back as you grow. Frostpunk 2. Frostpunk 2 arrives in the Steam Spring Sale at $20, and every element of this sequel reinforces why it became one of the most talked about city survival games of the last few years. You take command as the steward, responsible for guiding your city through a relentless, frozen apocalypse where every resource matters. Factions within your city bring another layer of tension. Each group pursues its own vision for the future, and their ambitions constantly clash. The story-driven campaign spans multiple chapters, following the life of the steward and challenging you to survive against impossible odds. At $20, Frostpunk 2 delivers intense survival strategy, sprawling city management, and a narrative where every decision carries consequence. The Steam Spring Sale makes it the perfect time to take command and see if your city can endure the endless winter. Stellaris. Stellaris at $10 during the Steam Spring Sale feels like an invitation to command the galaxy. Every game starts with a civilization freshly capable of interstellar travel, ready to survey the stars with science ships and establish stations around distant worlds with construction vessels. Each mission uncovers anomalies, hidden treasures, or entire civilizations that could alter your strategy entirely. Exploration drives discovery across thousands of procedurally generated planets and star systems. Every celestial body has its own story, and anomalies lead to events that challenge your choices and test your empire's adaptability. Diplomacy evolves alongside your empire as alliances form, tensions rise, and wars erupt across star lanes you control or aspire to dominate. Combat spans star systems in fully customizable fleets. Ship designs allow specialization for defense, offense, or exploration, and adaptation is key as rivals adjust their tactics. For $10, Stellaris offers vast galaxies, complex diplomacy, epic fleet battles, and a freedom of choice that ensures every journey across the stars feels unique. Age of Wonders 4. The Steam Spring Sale has a gem for fantasy strategy fans with Age of Wonders 4 at 50% off for just $25. In Age of Wonders 4, you control a faction that evolves with every turn, crafting societies from mystic moon elves to fierce halfling clans, each with unique traits and powers. The game world itself responds to your actions. Cities grow, armies roam, and magic warps the land around you, making each playthrough a new adventure. With its award-winning blend of 4X strategy, empire building, and tactical combat, Age of Wonders 4 delivers endless replayability. At half price, this is the perfect moment to claim your place among the Wizard Kings and leave your legacy in a realm of magic, war, and wonder.